And my favorite one is False Promise. Like Sunsfan saying he'll pay me for doing fails of the week.
That's a lie. I paid you recently. It was only a 3-year delay.
Or like Kyle saying, Sin, do this panel. It will be great.
Yeah.
So far,
hey, look at this though, Luna.
I'm having a time.
You've been talking about Luna a lot as a counter to the Dragon Knight. We have not seen Dragon Knight come out yet, but
As a counter to Dragon Knight.
That's what some of the pro players like Owie2000 and other geniuses like this little lady right here.
Luna as a counter to DK specifically.
Yes, because of the. Go ahead. I'll let you take
I
it.
don't think it's a counter. I think it does.
So you're gonna do this now. You're gonna come against me now.
No, it's a counter 100%. She completely counters the hero.
Okay, the argument, if I may, is that building it with very high damage, you're able to kind of go through that regen, and I think what they were saying is like a 1-0-3 and just straight up power through with right clicks, and that it's underestimated.
Right. Was that not just Luna in general, or was it specifically against Dragon Knight?
Well, because people are trying to solve how to solve the Dragon Knight laning experience right now, and we're going back in time.
I think she does fine. I just wouldn't call her a counter per se. But, I mean, considering the heroes you can pick against him, she's one of the better ones. I'll give you that one, Slacks.
Why do you first two tied into Oracle? Is that like... You can get a dagger, and then you can maybe hit both the carry and Oracle, so you like block the save. But I feel like Tide is relatively abusable as a first phase pick. Not too many teams have chosen to get it this early. I guess it is a comfort pick for Collapse. He likes playing these like strength offlaners that are really in your face.
Well, something you would have noticed, Cinderin, since we did cast several of these games together of Team Spirit, is they like to pick weird things.
That is correct.
And it works out 50% of the time because basically all their series are draws.
So they're flipping a coin for advancement here.
That's right.
I like it.
I like the look of disgust on Slax's face, just targeted towards me.
If you had any idea
and only
what had to happen to get you on this panel, get this opportunity, the things I sacrificed to excel your career for this moment, you wouldn't dare.
I feel like I'm providing a great
Wait, what have you sacrificed? What have you sacrificed?
I have no idea. The dedicated group of people on a
You sacrificed
400-person,
80 pounds of flesh for this.
800-person Discord who manipulate the Dota world to make sure that your career is furthered.
Yes, thank you. I do appreciate your sacrifice, but it was in vain, unfortunately.
Axe is banned out. I agree with that one. Team Liquid's been running out some crazy stuff there. And
Has
Wraith
it worked though?
Well, it's crazy stuff. I'd rather not deal with crazy stuff.
Maybe Team Spirit also flip a coin on their bans. They just start alphabetically. They flip the coin for AA. They flip the coin for Baden first. Both of those.
Where's Alchemist then?
They flipped the coin for that. That was also Tails.
That's a monkey! What the hell was that?
There goes Dragon Knight.
Why was there a monkey?
Oh, it's one of the voice chat lines.
All right.
Oh, okay.
So it looks like Spirit are... this was something I noticed in the Liquid versus EG series, especially in Game 1, but also a bit in Game 2, was that EG's drafts weren't very teamfight heavy compared to what we've seen a lot of the teams, especially Chinese teams that are... and Nigma have been doing a really good job at picking these team fighters. Team Spirit have been more leaning in that direction, and now they have both Tide and Puck. They definitely seem to want to try to fight the Oracle head-on and just overpower it with better AoE control. So I think what they're looking at now is they need some serious damage, and they need something that either catches the Oracle in the back or something that just can overpower, just flat out kill them through everything.
Is Liquid just picking the same lineup?
Dragon Knight's banned, so they can't grab that this time. I think that was really integral last
This is
time.
3 out of 5 so far.
Invoker.
3?
Yep.
I think Puck does do a decent job of controlling Oracle, so I'm not too concerned about him. And I think Lion, if he puts his mind to it, can do it as well. So I don't think they're lacking catch at all. What I do think they're lacking is, outside of Finger of Death, obviously, is a bit of damage.
Yeah, they need a way to kill the guy they coil.
Yeah, because the way I see it is like Puck is going to coil probably the Luna or the Invoker, and he's not going to get everybody. So after he coils them, he either deals with them or he deals with the Oracle. And we're hoping that Puck deals with the Oracle, right? Because he's the one with the silence.
Yeah. So the kind of game fight, or the kind of fighting plan I could see them make right now is where Puck or Lion starts the fight. There's some sort of carry that's really scary that goes in and starts committing on the hero. The other heroes have to help. Tide blinks in and gets a Ravage. And that's the way you control the fight and really get the Oracle into place. Either that or Puck specifically does not start fights and targets Oracle really hard every fight with a silence with a dagger. and then you can even Ravage the carry, as long as you have that follow-up damage. So they're going to get Shadow Demon. Can make Illusions of Luna.
5 seconds
Demonic
remaining.
Purge is also pretty good against Luna. But again, like Shannon said, they do pick some
My goodness.
off-brand heroes in this tournament.
I think it's because they're looking at it's a best of one, right? So they're just trying to pick comfort. Shadow Demon is comfort for Mira. Tidehunter is comfort for Collapse.
Yeah.
Yes.
Comfort for Torrent.
Yes.
So
Yes.
honestly, I'm a big fan of just picking and playing what you like to play for this best of one. You don't really want to be too experimental. I understand that we're looking at these drafts and they're a bit unorthodox
10
compared to what we've been
seconds
seeing
remaining.
throughout the major, but this is something they are used to
5
playing.
seconds
Effie, this
remaining.
is the time for the cheese to come out. This is a best of one. There is nothing to gain or learn here. These are two people scrounging in the dirt and the filth, fighting for their lives. A mud wrestling contest.
A mud wrestling contest.
That's right.
I would like to see them mud wrestle with Lifestealer.
That I would not like to see that. It could get in those wounds.
I believe if you suggest that in your Discord, there will be a lot of people that would invest into that, Slacks.
Life-stealing, mud wrestling
Yeah,
life-stealer.
we got Sunsfan on the panel. Anything can happen.
Speak up now.
Yeah.
Would you like to see a mud wrestling lifestealer?
Don't interact with
I love Lifestealer. He's a
Okay,
great
sorry.
hero, one of my favorites.
Liquid's
Great against
turn to
strength
battle.
heroes, as you know.
You'll get nothing from asking him
Right.
questions. Look at what he said.
Nake's bomb
what is-
potential with Butt,
Team battle.
and he's
With-
banned. You see?
With whom?
You see?
it was a pretty straightforward pick for Team Spirit because, first of all, they've played it before in this tournament. It's a good matchup against Centaur. It's a pretty good matchup against Luna. They have a Lifestealer Bomb and Puck, so they protect themselves.
10
Now,
seconds
the
remaining.
other kinds of heroes that Yatoro has mainly played, we've got both Terrorblade and Wraith King banned. He played PL with very little success.
Very little.
Yes,
success.
please no more PL. Please.
I don't think PL is the way you go, even though in the past it has been a good hero against Luna on occasion. Juggernaut comes to mind here. He's good against Invoker, Centaur, and Luna, but you don't have anything that buffs up the Jug, but you do have illusions, at least, with the Shadow Demon.
I think what they're lacking right now.
Medusa.
Yeah, what they're lacking right now as well is tower damage and objectives.
Yeah.
So it would be nice if they got a Troll Warlord maybe even.
Ooh.
Because
Well,
they
10
do need
seconds
Roshan
remaining.
and they do need tower damage. And
Right.
who else gives you that really? Ursa's banned
5
out,
seconds
Lifestealer is banned
remaining.
out, Wraith King is banned out. PL isn't that great at objectives, so I wouldn't like to see a PL pick here at all.
No, for sure.
But it's an issue that needs to be addressed.
How about some DP action? Silences are good this game. A little push is good this game. Huh?
They need
where,
a
where would
carry.
you put her?
What?
Where would you put her?
I don't know.
You could put DP safe lane. It's actually not out of the question.
China does play DP safe lane
But
a lot.
I don't think I've ever seen Yatoro play a hero though. I mean, maybe he does, but that's a very Toronto Tokyo kind of hero. He played it earlier this tournament.
I don't want them
it's not
to.
good.
I don't want them to do something weird because it's a best of one, right? They have to play what they're good at.
This is
Sure.
the time to do something weird.
Are you
I
sure
want to see a
about that?
techies, a Meepo. It's a best of one. They can't possibly keep up with their game.
That's true. It is a best of one, and if you want to go home, Tekis and Meepo are really excellent choices to get out of here as soon as possible. If your flight tickets are booked for later today, you gotta make sure to grab those heroes immediately.
Okay, Enchantress
But
is
you can
picked
get
up.
home. Last pick Ench.
This is it.
That is pretty crazy that they got that late.
10 seconds
Effie, this is your
remaining.
moment to snipe and save yourself from ever having to be on a panel like this ever
5
again.
seconds
And I
remaining.
personally like Troll. I don't know if they like it. Yatoro has played it a couple of times,
It's a
but
bad matchup against Invoker. I
it
feel
is.
like.
It's
And
not,
it's also
not
bad
the,
against Centaur. Like,
It's not the greatest, but what else gives them objectives here? There's also Juggernaut,
Yeah.
but do we want to play Juggernaut?
I don't know. I mean, you're right. They're kind of out of. They're very limited.
Oh!
That hero's cool.
Ooh!
Not bad.
Row
see it.
Ranger.
It's a good hero against Luna.
Oh.
You outrange. You have obviously the ulti to do a lot of damage and pierce. The lane matchup against Centaur is also pretty good. It's not great right away, but once you get some levels, it can be very nice with either the Shadow Demon or the Lion.
Her only
My concern is she can get dove by this Enchantress, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Her concern is like struggling in the laning phase. She can definitely get dove in Enchantress creep, Enchant slow, Centaur stun. I can see her dying, but I can also see her having a good game. She definitely gives Team Spirit what they're lacking. But you know what? They also have Shadow Demon for save. I'm not too scared for her. It could work.
Very well. Well, this gigantic, important series is coming to a head. It's time for our predictions now. Suns fan, if one of these teams were lactose, which one would you not want to eat?
Well, that's a great question. I just want to show everybody how smart I am. I've been saying speak up now the whole panel. They picked Drow, who has gust. She says speak up now.
Wow.
Definitely
Oh
one
my
of her lineup
God.
now. It was all, okay, I don't like their lineup at all, to be fair, but I will choose them because it all makes sense now. Team Spirit will get this best of one, despite Liquid having a very safe and very strong lineup that is definitely better, but they will lose.
Thank you for literally wasting all of our time.
Thank you.
Effie,
You know, I'll back you up.
that's unfortunate.
Yeah, I agree. Liquid's going to win.
Okay, well, Team Spirit it is then. Thank you guys so much. The game is nearly afoot here, but we have a little bit more time. Go ahead.
I'm just clarifying. I was backing up the Suns fan. I'm on his side.
What? Speak up
I'm
now.
on your side.
What?
I hate you.
Excuse me?
Oh,
I
that
hate
turned.
I'm just-
That's dark
That's a personal
ending.
best. That took 5 minutes before she said that. That's pretty incredible. I think I lasted 2.5 before I said I hate you to the first time.
And now, 10 years later, you're still stuck within my
I don't
grasp.
say it anymore. It's implied every sentence at this point.
Yes, and Slacks is just seething.
I'm
as
not
the
seething
host.
at all.
He is.
I know
void
that
of
one day
emotion.
you'll be in jail and no one will have to deal with you ever again for something. Cult leadership, abuse, just existing for
Right.
common good.
This
Anyway,
is a major, by the way.
shut the hell up, Suns fan. All right, if you've had a wonderful time, well, I've got some great news. We will be back after this game, but now prepare for the greatest time at all. It's time to get zen with our friends, the monk himself, Capitalist, and Kyle.
Thank you, Cinderin and Effie, for the analysis. Slacks and Suns fan, you tried, I guess. Kyle, you actually called the Drow Ranger.
Indeed.
Nice snipe.
Thank you very much. It was the only other real answer. I agreed with the panel. Troll was filling the gaps in the draft. They needed tower pressure. You want to have a decent landing phase, something to scale with. Drow gives you those things. It outranges Luna, like we saw EG try to do with the Viper, but it's more of a traditional hard carry.
Yep.
And in addition, you can hit a timing, I think, faster than the Luna and start invading their side of the map.
Yeah, it definitely looked like when we were watching the EG game, they had a certain idea with that Viper, and like it did kind of work out in a bit of team fights where they were able to keep their distance, able to keep the Luna kited, but unfortunately it just wasn't good enough later on to the game. Drow, much better position for sure.
Yeah, the silence is also really effective against these support duos, and in addition, just the Frost Volley, you can do some pretty significant damage to the Oracle, to the Enchantress, and most notably, marksmanship procs ignore base armor, which is very effective against Luna that typically is all base armor with no actual plus armor in any of the items she
Yeah,
built in the
she's
kit.
not buying an AC anytime soon. So, yeah, no, this is certainly going to be quite strong. That being said, Drow, one big problem here, that's a hero you want to be able to keep away from everybody. That's the only way marksmanship actually works. I'm sure Slacks would appreciate. It's very lore friendly.
Indeed.
She hates everybody. Stay away from me. And they've got Centaur on the side of Liquid.
Yeah, they
So
do.
that is definitely going to be a persistent problem throughout this very dangerous best of one, where both of these teams are looking at elimination or moving on to the playoffs.
Yeah, Drow Tide has always been a really nice combination, though. Obviously, in the past, you typically go with these ranged cores with the Drow. It's been changed significantly since then, but at the end of the day, it's massive team fight, a frontliner, and a minus armor mechanic with the Drow Ranger. So it's just quite nice. Also, Drow, you can farm Ancients, but you can't really take stacks. Tide can and forgives you that weakness. In addition, in theory, Liquid, we saw them abuse Ancient stacking in the previous game. Maybe Tide could help invade. If you're holding Ravage, really tough to fight into, even if you do Stampede forwards.
Now, what do you think about this mid matchup? Puck versus Sumail's Invoker. Toronto Tokyo was one of the best mid laners, I would say, coming out of Eastern Europe. I mean, he was fantastic on any of those aggressive heroes during the DPC.
I think it's very Puck favored throughout the game, just because Coil is almost a guaranteed kill mechanic. You can dodge the Invoker spells, and you have a pretty long silence, but it can definitely go both ways. It's a very skill-based matchup, as most of these spellcaster versus spellcaster duos are. And I will say, there's a lot on the line. Keep in mind, loser eliminated, but also that both of these teams are fighting for a TI spot from about the same position. Spirit, they have a chance to qualify too if they could win the 2 series. I think they need a top 4, if I'm not mistaken, to be guaranteed.
so, yeah.
Liquid top 6. They have slightly more points, but either way, they're...
Mira on a bit of a walkabout here, trying to find that damn courier, but Insania is going to get a lot of damage on him during this time and doesn't lose his courier, so good for him. I was asking about the mid matchup just because they gave Toronto Tokyo the ward last hit as well, so he got a little bump in experience and gold, so he does already, just to very start the laning phase, has a slight advantage.
Yeah. Curious, did he get the bottle or the null? Because I think null might be a little bit better. You can out-hit an Invoker. You already have a slight base damage advantage, but he'll just go for the bottle. Okay. Looking to spam out.
Yeah, I mean, how Quaswick's Invoker typically wins the lane, right? It's just like harassing you as much as humanly possible. So I could see his logic of the sustain being important.
I will say I'm surprised Mira didn't go for Shadow Poison.
Yeah, he went for Disruption instead and may end up paying the price for that one as Insania looks to be able to slow him down, but the Gush actually hitting Mickey and slowing him down in turn. Wasn't able to get another beam out. Insania does manage to cancel Healing Salve, sees a bunch of couriers, does manage to kill one of them before he tries to retreat and will be safe to do so.
Yeah, it's a cool matchup now. Shadow Poison is undispellable, so it's interesting against an Oracle who has double methods of cleanse. You obviously can't remove the ultimate either, so very effective as a potential answer. One of the sprays I don't think should have made it into the game, even though there is no techies, but...
Oh, Shannon's very upset with you now. That's his pack right there. All right, bottom lane, the Drow Lion versus Centaur plus a Taiga Enchantress. That's going to be kind of running around the map. I'm not sure if Taiga's going to feel great about ganking the mid lane. Maybe if he finds like a troll creep, then that'll be okay. But otherwise, looks to be just kind of farming up for now with the skeletons that he got.
This is kind of the dream, though. If you're running the Ench 4, he's able to just sort of threaten middle and bottom while just remaining off map and farming. Would have liked it if he could have perhaps grabbed that bottom rune. He had vision of it, but leaves it for the puck to refill.
We'd see he's trying to get level 3 right now off of this final Centaur, so then he can have level 2 enchant. Picks it up now. Heads over to the Eagle, and we'll deal with Maposhka.
Yeah, this is one of the better answers to a 5 Lion as an Ench. You're just so much stronger. You can fight with the creep. Later on, you just enchant, throw hits in. Lion, you can throw out a stun, but not much else. And you can see the level advantage now that Koifa is able to obtain down bottom. He's level 4, Lion and Drow 2 and 3. And as soon as he's 6, this is the answer to a Drow. In theory, you just straight up run at her and try to kill her off first.
Yeah, and that hero is great at being able to deal with Drow in lane because Centaur has one of the highest base damages of any of the off-lane heroes. Great animation, and then add to all of that, has Retaliate to be able to max out, and Drow doesn't feel as good. Trying to hit him. Oh, in fact, first blood going to be picked up by Taiga. Looks like the Drow got a bit too low from an enchant gank, and that last impetus was enough to kill.
Oh yeah, the creeps hit deceptively hard with the enchant bonus, and especially against a early game Drow.
I think the nice part, yeah, is as it dies, that's why he wanted level 3 so badly for the extra duration, because then you're actually able to use the creep to gank and still have enchant off cooldown, so you can have both the slow and the creep.
Yep, exactly. And now the skeleton, that could be a potential setup for mid. If the puck can be caught with orb down, you have a shot. So far, Sumail is holding his own, 20-6 to 25-4, though puck will accelerate now that he has that stacked easy camp to work with. And top lane, relatively even. I think that's to be expected. Tidehunter is pretty tough to stun up a little early.
A little bit of dissynergy there. Missed out on the Gush because of the disruption. Either way, Insania was probably ready just to purge himself off as soon as the Gush hits him, but and still, at least they would have done more damage. Mira, cop it a lot here. They're going to go for the last round of nukes. They need another one. Nope, they got it. Insania does manage to pick up a second kill for Liquid, and because of the stick, they're going to be kind of okay on sustain as well. They didn't actually take that much damage.
This is an insane lane. Oracle, especially level 3, he didn't even have the second point in the burst, but it just doesn't matter. 2 ranged heroes with Luna Aura hit very hard, and not much Shadow Demon can do. You're outranged by both heroes.
Yeah, you can see he TP to the mid lane. I'm guessing refill the bottle and probably looking to secure the first power rune of the game. And they can also leave Collapse alone at top lane. Honestly, the Shadow Demon is more of a liability at this point when Collapse is level 5 with 3 levels of Kraken Shell. goes to show his priority. Much like the Centaur, just wants to be able to stay in lane in CS.
Yeah, Koifa buying his Kraken Shell with the Vanguard. Now level 6, so they have the global threat. Look for them to make a play onto mid, or perhaps rotating Invoker down to bottom. Look, I think Sumail wants to be a little active here. Coil out.
Heal, level 1 heal for the Enchantress. This is actually kind of keeping him alive. Toronto Tokyo was able to dodge the Centaur stun, but has to jump away to the orb for fear of getting caught by Sumail's Invoker.
Casual fluffy hat, paying dividends there. Very tough to take down an early game Enchantress, especially with that 1 point in heal. I like that Insania leaves, but he also placed that really cool lane ward top, so securing his Luna. And I like that spot too. You see a lot of people just casually place it on the high ground, but it's much less likely to get countered there because you'll also dodge the sentry. Right about where that courier was, you'll see people place sentries quite often. This will be out of range.
The old high ground.
Yep.
No longer the spot there, of course, but
no, but people place it on the other high ground.
Oh, the triangle high ground you're talking about? Okay.
It kind of works.
It kind of works. But yeah, you want to watch out for like the Lion TP rotation, right? Lion, 2 disables plus Gush and Anchor Smash, they'd probably be able to surprise and kill Luna pretty easily. Collapse, looking to be able to steal easy camp stack here while Mira does a pull. Again, doesn't feel like the supports have too much to do here, while Liquid, it does seem like they are able to play a little bit more active.
Yeah, they got out of, I think, the hardest part of their lanes. Now you have a max return Vanguard Centaur with Enchantress. Regen creep, they're just pushing the lane, and Drought can't do anything against this. You probably deal more damage to yourself trying to hit Centaur, and Koifa's just going to tank this tower till death. Really well done by Liquid, and they're starting to apply a lot of pressure here. And Luna's uncontested. Like, top 3 net worths all on the side of Liquid.
And Luna's better at being able to clear out big old stacks as well. So that's just another scary part, as you could see Insania doing the one thing that he's always been known to do, stack it up. And of course, man, that Spirit Triangle, that is mega stacked.
The big difference is that Liquid's hard carry is going to get a lot of their bonus net worth out of the jungle, whereas those stacks are really only clearable by a Tidehunter. And I question, what is it he's going to buy that'll really change the game impact?
Miposhka trying to slow down Sumail here. He's going to be coughing a lot of damage. Tornado goes out to be able to stop the multi-shot from the Drow Ranger. They take a heap of damage coming up from Toronto Tokyo. But again, he has to be able to jump away. Toronto Tokyo pop the Stampede. They're going to go for Mira. Mira's dead, and the rest of Team Spirit unable to play forward. They're just, these heroes on the side of Liquid are a bit too tanky for them right now.
You can see the disparity. Tidehunter, first dude, but, doesn't push the tower. Koifa, meanwhile, he got bottom. He just runs straight middle. A lot more offensive pressure output. And really, Ravage this early in the game, just not too effective. He'll TP in necessary. He wants to just put his body on the tower, but can't really force a fight. He's not going to just pop Ravage in the face of Koifa.
And this is one of the dirtiest parts about Centaur.
He already has a hood. He's just tanking it.
Yeah, he's just going to tank the tower, and eventually it will die. No matter how much you stand in front of it as a Tidehunter, Koifa has the counter to that.
Yep, and Sumail well positioned. He's a Quaswex Invoker. You've got the Tornado EMP for counter initiation. If you want to actually land a kill as Spirit, you need a hard commit, and a Tornado throws that all off. Look at their damage output right now. It's a puck round of spells, and what? The supports are not 6. They have no damage, and Collapse is a Tidehunter.
Yeah. Well, Mira looks like maybe the one getting a lot of this CS, as they only have level 2 Anchor Smash, so it's actually going to be the Shadow Poison. That'll probably do more here. Toronto Tokyo looks to be able to dodge the EMP. Should be fairly easy for him, but he's going to run into a Centaur. Oh, nice use of the silence to be able to dodge that Centaur stomp.
Well done by Tiger, though. Nice setup for that.
Yeah.
They're just applying pressure, though. End of the day, they know where the puck is, and as we discussed, that is the actual hero that can find kills. Insania, safeguarding Koifa top. You could bring 4 or 5 heroes up here. At best, you'll just get the Centaur. And now Yatoro, you can't take any Ancient stacks, my friend, so...
Yeah.
What is this for if Collapse wasn't taking it 2 minutes ago?
Yeah, a smaller stack, like a 2-stack you can kind of do, thanks to multi-shot, but like that many, definitely not great for a Drow Ranger. Level 5 Enchantress here will die. This Taiga's just doing that kind of thing that he usually does, is a 4-position Enchantress, just plant himself super aggressively on the map all the time.
It's gonna, they're gonna leave it for the Drow, but you can see, compare the Drow farming Ancients. Now let's check out the Luna. because she's doing the exact same over in her jungle, and
yeah, those are gone.
that's a Mask of Madness Luna with 3 points, Glaive's maxed out aura. This is a significantly different hero. This is, look at the net worth, already 1,000 up. The reason it's coming into the meta right now is because of this. You can farm efficiently at maximum speed far earlier than almost any other hero in Dota. Typically, you need a helper. You need some sort of empower buff to be able to do what a Luna can do.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we've been talking about what are the important parts of this patch. Roshan taking, Ancient clearing. Like, those are two of the biggest standouts for sure. So it's something that now you still like the Drow Ranger. Do you feel like it was Team Spirit didn't do enough in the laning phase? Were they supposed to win the lanes harder? Like, what was the problem here that has set them back so much?
I think it's that bottom lane. It had to do a bit better, and perhaps we underrated the power of Enchantress Centaur, but after they got that first blood on Drow, they just kind of ran away with it. And speaking of Drow, we check out the Ancient Camp. She is still farming the Ancient Camp.
Yeah, it's still not done
It's not
yet.
even close. She's going to have to stack it again.
Yeah.
Might as well set up a camp here. A forward expedition base, because Yatoro's not leaving. He misses the stack. That's almost a blessing in disguise. Meanwhile, the Liquid lineup's pushing bottom tier 2.
Start digging the trenches, filling up the sandbags from Fob, as Liquid are now working their way on a tier 2. They've already taken the important tier 1 towers, trying to protect this siege wagon as best as possible. Eventually that Satyr will run out. Looks like they're kind of poking at Koifa right now, trying to take a tier 1 tower of their own, but Miposhka throws out the damage. It was enough. Good read by Miposhka. Thanks to the multi-shot of the tier 2 tower, they can kill this Enchantress. Now they're also making a move on Koifa top lane. With the Soul Catcher, they can bring this tanky Centaur a little bit lower, but Insania is quickly going to rectify that. In fact, they're going to use the Stampede to be able to catch up to Mir. Couldn't get off the disruption fast enough. He gets slowed. Centaur's there. Doesn't actually have a stomp up anymore. The EMP is going to burn out, but at the same time, the multi-shot rotation from Yatoro will manage to bring down Koifa. Looks like Liquid did not commit enough to be able to defend this tier 1 tower, and as a result, Team Spirit, thanks to Yatoro, will win that fight.
Not bad. They really needed something out of that. Good rotation, but do keep in mind there was no Mickey in the engagement.
Networks did go up, though. They were at 3,000, and then went 2, and now 1, so...
Yeah, evening out the curve just a little bit. Still no Ravage used. I love the combo of Oracle and a Hood Centaur, though, because you do the reduced damage, but obviously you're still getting the full benefit of the healing.
You know, one thing is this Tidehunter is supposed to be the big protector for this Drow Ranger, right? But the one downside is that Liquid did pick up a couple of heroes that I've seen to great effect. The Enchantress, hold up, Miposhka. Gonna die as he pushes out bottom lane a little bit too far. Enchantress later on with Impetus is really good at poking at Tidehunter, and that's what Tide hates, is being poked at. He wants a real commitment. He wants something to be able to ravage. And then obviously EMP, Tidehunters hate that. And this is a phase boots Tidehunter, so he's gonna be even more affected.
And you can see our observer checking out the Enchantress out of build, just extra fluffy, have to go with the Vanguard. Just survivability, straight up. Liquid, you have no damage issues with your lineup. You have an Invoker Luna. He's going to get Alacrity, he's going to right-click. The rest of the team, just stay alive. Use your bodies as a buffer. They've got double healing as well from the support duo once again.
I know the Vanguard, super value item and all that, but isn't he going to be dying to magic damage? Isn't it going to be the Puck, Lion, and Shadow Demon killing him most of the time?
Yeah, and I also don't think it helps against multi-shot, just straight up dealing physical damage, unless I'm thinking my mechanics wrong.
Yeah, I don't know how that works.
So it's based on just your armor, which leads me to believe it's just what he considers the most efficient plus HP tool, which is really what you would need, in theory, against the raw magical damage output of the Spirit supports. Fully lock it next up.
Team Spirit gonna move into the triangle. You can see the drawing on the map. I think that's Koifa. Is that Koifa drawing that line, or is that Insania? Well, either way, somebody on Liquid has actually read that move. And Team Spirit is going to kind of set up a camp here, but not going to find the kills that they were hoping for. Now they're going to start moving in for this tier 1 mid. Liquid, almost without a doubt, will try and defend this.
It's going to be tough, though. They have to make sure Sumail isn't the one initiated on. Koifa's got to be the buffer.
Here comes the buffer himself. About to show his entrance, I think, as soon as the rest of the team is kind of feeling ready to go. He kill the Observer Ward that was behind the tower, so now the rest of the team feels okay about circling on in. You can see Toronto Tokyo really wants to, oh, they're actually going to smoke up for this. Liquid reading this is maybe an all-important team fight to determine the tempo of the rest of the game. They're going to come out Koipa with his Blink Dagger, makes the initiation. The Ravage should be able to intercept. Does hit 4 heroes in the back lines, but Yutaro is already being threatened. The puck did manage to jump in. The Stampede going to go in. They manage to finish off Insania, who immediately buys back. They finish off the tower as well. So, Team Spirit get a kill, force a buyback, take a tower, and then immediately everybody filters out.
A really big Ravage from Collapse there. He recognized the situation. Had he not used it immediately, might have been troublesome. If he catches the EMP, he would not have the mana. So evens out the fight, but now Ravage is used. Puck is dead. Killed off his support, but the immediate buyback from Insania, that's going to secure the Roche. Mickey is level 15 already. It is 60 minutes into the game. That's kind of crazy.
Before Liquid picked it today, I believe there was only 5 Lunas or something like that at this tournament. 100% win rate. And if Liquid wins this tiebreaker, that will continue.
But this is the dream, Cap. Like, this is a free game, a free lane. You saw him just farming Ancients. He's 4 levels ahead of every member of the enemy team. Now he has an Aegis. Like, this is perfect for the Liquid lineup. Yeah, the gold advantage is only 1K, but a huge part of that net worth lead is on the critical hero.
Yeah.
And the thing about Aluna is that the more, like, you just farm faster than everything else in the game right now, so that's going to continue to increase. And notably, Sumail went a very selfless build in the previous game, no Midas. He's going to have one this game at a pretty nice timing, too. Just a couple hundred gold off the recipe.
Miposhka, if you're wondering what he was doing there, Insania dropped a sentry to try and cover as much, ward area as possible and used his courier to scout out the high ground. Well, Miposhka's not one to let his ward die without a fight. Kills Insania's courier, but ultimately does cost him his life. Mickey now with the Manta.
He's huge. The Alacrity, too, that's the big thing that's missing from Spirit's lineup. They have no natural steroid. In theory, Shadow Demon Illusions, yeah, that's somewhat relevant, but he has to disrupt Mickey. That is the reason it's picked. It's not anything to do with the saving of the Drow. It's actually the offensive disruption onto Mickey. Love this from Taiga, the Wolf Creep. That represents a maxed out Venjora. Just holding hands, add that to Alacrity. That's damage manipulation to a T. These are Han players, Cap. They understand it. They're going to walk high ground with Aegis.
Yeah,
I love it.
Don't let this Drow Ranger feel too comfortable farming up that triangle. Let's force everybody of Team Spirit back here. And if they don't come back fast enough, all right, force the glyph. Team Spirit really don't want to back away here. Do manage to find a courier there. Collapse very far forward here as he's pretty much been daring Team Liquid to be able to TP back. But does manage to find the Drow Ranger here. Nobody else behind him, though, so he stampedes, kind of runs away. The rest of the team chasing after Collapse. Meteor, he will eventually die here, no doubt. Collapse recognizes, too. He's just trying to create as much time for Yutaro and everybody else to farm.
Now, Liquid in just full control of the map right now, but doesn't mean that Spirit are out of this. They still have the Ravage.
I mean, they do have the answer to a single core Luna. Right? You said we've got Shadow Demon, offensive disruption. We've got Drow on high grounds. I mean, the new Drow Ranger with new marksmanship. This hero is a legitimate late game hero.
Yeah, I just don't know if I agree. You can see Mira, he's actually keeping 1 point disruption. I think that spell is way too good here. You get 75% illusion damage, and it brings the cooldown from 27 to 18 seconds when maxed out. Like, you have almost 100% uptime on your illusions. I remember Fog geeking out about this like 2 months ago. That, you get Luna damage.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that's the answer
like
here.
The best hero to always disrupt, get a good disruption, right?
It's that or a meta Terrorblade. There's really no better choice, and I love this because there's no glyph, and you're strong. You have Aegis. Why not just try to threaten high ground, or at the very least control the outpost area? If you're Liquid now, you never leave this side of the map. You deny enemy Ancients, and at a certain point, you sweep back top and clear those towers.
I mean, the Drow Ranger just showed herself. I'm waiting for one of those times where Liquid says, okay, you're bottom now. We're going to take your triangle. You have to break this high ground instead. Taiga exploring that triangle currently with the Hellbear, just seeing what's what. Rest of Liquid. Is there a certain timing that they're waiting on? Because, we already have the Aegis and stuff. So is there like a certain item timing that we're talking about where it's like, okay, now this is really go time?
I don't think so, Cap. I think that they're pretty solid with the way this game's played out.
Yeah.
They're pretty geared for the late game. I think that maybe, you know, if we're talking really, really late into the game, like double Ravages and Puck with an Aghanims and a ton of damage, okay. But Toronto Tokyo, I think he's recognized this game is going to go late.
Yeah.
Bots up next after the blink. But my concern is that if Liquid realize that Spirit aren't really prepared for an engagement, they could just take next Roche and potentially look to just end the game. Like, they're in that sweet spot where they can continue to farm, and as you can watch, as the net worth continues to grow in Liquid's favor as the minutes tick by, but they're also stronger in a fight right now. And that's a really nice place to be, because you really have no losing so long as you don't make a mistake.
Team Spirit trying to force Liquid to move around the map and see if they can get pickoffs like this one right here with Toronto Tokyo and Miposhka hiding away in the trees. They're going to double blink away. They have a feeling that something's not quite right here, and they would be totally correct. All of Team Liquid have moved up to the top lane. So it looks like maybe they're just going to go for that 1-2 punch, try and take both the remaining outer towers in top lane. That'll help them control the triangle a bit better as well.
And you can see they're still a little spooked. They have no Aegis. Again, bear in mind, the entire net worth lead is on the Luna. Mickey playing a little cautiously until the BKB is complete. They'll come out in the courier in just a moment. And this is the huge window, because if you look at Spirit, they have absolutely zero BKB piercing disable. Sure, Shadow Demon Purge is something, but ultimately, it's going to just stop the damage. It doesn't really help them control the Luna or look to find a kill on him. The physical damage, not there.
I mean, part of the way they were kiting the Luna in the last series that we were watching was just slows, but Stampede does rectify that to a certain degree. Toronto Tokyo trying to clear out that mid creep wave, stalling Liquid from pushing.
I will say, though, Mira's pretty farmed. Oh, he went for the blink. I thought he was going to rush Ags, because the break mechanic applied to a Luna is pretty insane. With no glaives, no aura, like, that renders the hero's damage output pretty negligible, and instead he's just getting a blink. That's a little risky.
That is kind of weird, because he didn't max out Disruption, so I feel like Blink is entirely about getting in position for an offensive Disruption, but he doesn't have it maxed out just yet. Okay, he actually kept Purge at level 1 just so we could get more Disruption levels, so I think he's coming onto your line of thinking here.
Yeah. And that's how you start a fight. Offensive Disruption into Collapse blinking forwards, because it's actually really nice against Oracle lineups to have that delayed start, because suddenly then Collapse can position himself between the hero disrupted and the Oracle and look to threaten Ravage.
Team Spirit again trying to make a move up to this top lane. Smoke breaks on Collapse. Koifa may or may not realize the rest of the team is behind. They certainly realize it now, though. Cole's going to go out, protection from the Oracle, but immediately the Puck is trying to gun for this Oracle and kill him as quick as possible. Not going to be able to get the Ravage going down. Koifa getting low. Oh, he gets saved by the Fate's Edict. Nicely done. Negates the Finger of Death damage that would have finished off that Centaur. Otherwise, looks like everyone from Team Liquid is going to stay alive through this assault. That is a Ravage used and a Ravage wasted.
And now, it's not bad for Team Spirit. They're going to survive, but they're going to lose towers off this 100%. You can see the back door immediately coming out. Another nice creep pickup from Taiga, the Ice Armor being applied to every ally.
I mean, surely they're going to lose maybe all 3 of their towers, right? I mean, if you can't win a fight with Ravage, you're certainly not feeling confident in taking another 5v5 without it.
Yeah, they do make the best of a bad situation, though. Spirit, Mira cuts wave top. They grab bounties on enemy side, so it's okay, but it's not great. And with no Ravage, you're severely limited now. Significantly faster cooldown on the Stampede. It's going to be up 50 seconds earlier. And in addition, Liquid's lineup is just much scarier. They don't need they don't have a need for Stampede to take any sort of fight.
I mean, honestly, Mira's a genius. Like, cutting that creep wave and then Toronto Tokyo taking mid, and then he just cut yet another wave. They actually have total map control right now off of those movements. There's nothing left for Team Liquid to do here but look for kills. Somehow, didn't get off a spell before auto-attacking. Miposhka is going to be caught either way, though.
Thing is, this game, Liquid, oh man, a fast Roshan.
Fast Roshan, oh man.
It was very helpful.
That is unfortunate for Team Spirits.
Especially because they did such a great job cutting waves, as you said, Cap, and unfortunately that motion has moved them towards the bottom half of the map, so Liquid can just walk into the pit. They already have some wards, one top, one just above them.
How much longer until Ravage?
Oh my god, he's level 20.
Yeah, 40 seconds. Like that, that's well within Roshan's spawn time. You know, this is Team Spirit. They could have contested Roshan if it spawned a minute from now, but not going to be the case here. Liquid are going to get a freebie, and that includes the shard, which I wonder who they're going to give to, because Luna shard is pretty legit, I think. But yeah, they are. Lucent beam. So now you have the attack that comes off of the Lucent beam. It's really good once you get like Scotty.
It's just more damage.
Yeah.
Right? She's gonna have a Satanic in just a moment. Splits the MOM. And 7k gold lead. Like, it's all on the Luna. The entire advantage for Liquid is just the fact that Luna is a significantly more efficient farmer than a Drow Ranger.
Yep.
Like, a slightly better laning phase, sure, but not good enough to justify, like, a 7k net worth lead on the entire game.
Yeah.
But that's Luna. He didn't even have, like, a huge stack. It's just the nature of the hero. Good disruption.
Disruption for disruption. Lotus Orb helping out as they go for the siege here.
Taiga's really nice. He enchanted one of the illusions immediately. He's going to look to do that all game.
Oh, yeah, that's a good call. Oh, trying to blow him up with the dagger. They do manage to get him. Insania's down.
No buyback.
And that is very bad for Team Liquid. They're going to throw out the Ravage now, trying to catch some of these heroes during the Stampede, but still the damage dealers are alive. But the puck is up. He's still trying to go for more heroes in the back line, almost finishing off Sumail there, but he has to jump away to his orb. Maposhka, something similar here, hiding away in the trees. Team Spirit should be very happy with that hold.
Oh yeah, they've played this so well as Spirit. Really at a huge disadvantage right now. We've seen these Luna lineups just straight up end games at this point. But, you know, the Dagon, a little questionable. It has to be executed. You saw them jump right into the back line. Insania must die. He's going to Glimmer Cape to try to avoid that fate. But that's the only way Spirit take fights right now. The Oracle has to be bursted down, and then they can look to kind of find kills on cores. Otherwise, if you go for Luna, you go for Zahenda, it doesn't matter who. Insania saves them, and Liquid can turn around the fight.
Yeah. No, we saw plenty of times where Evil Geniuses were looking okay in a team fight, but the problem was the false promise was put on Mickey, and he just stood there and output damage the entire time. Stumbling, okay, caught Mira, caught the Shadow Demon. Can they finish him off? The Glaives are coming in. The impetus from Taiga is going to be able to do the work. Two-man stun out from Maposhka with the multi-shots raining in. They will manage to finish up the Centaur. Looks like the Luna with the ultimate activated. The Cataclysm going now, but Collapse is still alive. Deafening Blast is not going to finish him off. Mickey needs to be able to back away, or maybe he's going to commit here with a BKB. Immediately pops it to ensure that Maposhka couldn't get that instant Hex down. Looking to pursue. Blink Disruption from Mira. Immediately, they're going to go for the coil. Backline, Toronto, Tokyo once again gunning for Insania. Managed to bring him down to half health. The Glimmer Cape is keeping alive for now. Magic Immune backing away. Taiga also healing up. Liquid are so tanky that it's very hard for Team Spirit to be really chase and continue this movement. So much so that Toronto Tokyo actually gave up and immediately pushing bottom lane.
Both these teams playing well, right? It's elimination BO1. Nothing can be left on the field. It is win or go home, and I just love the plays from both sides. It is incredibly tough to push into the Team Spirit line base. The glaive bouncing not really threatening these ranged heroes that are so far away. And Drow, every rotation of puck spells, the Shadow Demon, they have a lot of base defense, and really nice stuns from Maposhka as well. Tokyo's in trouble.
To Tokyo, here in Kiev, making his way around the world from lane to lane, managing to stay alive, just trying to create time. More time for the Drow Ranger to farm. If we can get to that point where her damage can really threaten Mickey, then Team Spirit has a chance to be able to turn this game around all off of a high ground defense.
Yeah, if we want to check out the items that are being built up, Taiga already has pretty much his whole kit online. They are maxed out in terms of how they can support their Luna. Looking at Team Spirit's side, they're getting there. It will be the Scotty on Yatora. We saw Arteezy pull off this same maneuver against Luna, but he was a Viper. It is just simply not the same hero. Meanwhile, the Halberd was huge in that last fight. You saw the offensive disruption into an immediate disarm. So you have Luna and Team Liquid doesn't. Really, both sides have to try and kill off the enemy support duo. It's just a lot easier for Liquid to do that because of how squishy these Spirit backlines are. Really, it's tough for both teams. What am I saying?
Yeah.
It's all about the positioning. The frontliners have played quite well, both Collapse and Koifa, zoning away their enemies.
With the double damage, unlikely Team Spirit tries to take this. They do have the Purge from Shadow Demon, but no sense in trying to take a fight you're already disadvantaged against. They're going to set up for the high ground, though. Once again, going for the kill onto Insania, and they get him. They're going to trade out Miposhka, but the deed is done. They got what they wanted. Team Liquid cannot push without their 5 position.
Yeah, this is the name of the game for Spirit. That every time they pick off Insania, it's an extra minute or 2 of breathing room. But you'll notice the net worth. It's creeping up in favor of Team Liquid, and it's effectively all just because Mickey farms faster than anyone else on the map. The Midas from Sumail also pretty big. He had the Ag, so the first Cataclysm in the last team fight. He's got to be very happy he chose to invest in that previous game, you know, with a 4-step more fighting items, but the Midas is going to be instrumental here to ensure he continues to scale. Because you know Toronto Tokyo is already level 20. Those early bots really helping him out. It's just so much bonus net worth because he's able to play bottom nearly this whole game just because of the free TP. He goes for the orb cooldown just to ensure more spell casted, more waves cleared.
Yeah, that's entirely about him and his split pushing. And you could see Sumail has had it with this guy. He's trying to hunt Toronto Tokyo. He's even building into a Scythe of Ice. Popping out. Without the hard lockdown of a Scythe, though, he needs the orb to be on cooldown.
I don't even know if that's enough. You can just just phase shift, blink away.
Yeah, it's very difficult.
It is one of the reasons Puck is nice against Invoker, because you pretty much always threaten him with your spells with a nice coil. Invoker before Hex just can't touch you, so. They also don't have a Hex mechanic on a support like the side of Team Spirit. Miposhka pretty much just holding hands with Toronto Tokyo in the fights. Again, one goal, kill Insania. Taiga can be ignored.
It's kind of interesting. Not going for the butterfly on the Luna. Instead going for Scotty. The Scotty's better for the shard. But the butterfly, in a way, is better against the Drow right now, and it's better against the disruption.
That is true.
All right, you're going to be creating Scotty illusions. Meanwhile, you would have evasion against your own illusions hitting you.
But butterfly illusions also do hit hard. It's kind of trapped between a rock and a hard place. Drow's also a natural MKB buyer, plus the frost arrows don't miss, so I can see the argument. I think it's really just for the beam into the attack. Plus more HP.
Well, if Sumail thought he was going to catch that puck with a Scythe, no longer the case. Eon Disc picked up for Toronto Tokyo.
It's a nice pickup here. He just has to stay alive. Pushing for Liquid is quite difficult. They still don't have the Aegis. Can spawn in 20 seconds.
So very likely we're going to see Team Liquid chill out, and I think Team Spirit kind of knows that. All right, they're going to play for another Roshan. So guys, Yutaro can go ahead and push out this bottom lane, play in the enemy triangle. It's not where they want to be anyway.
And I mean, the panel did a great job diffusing the situation, making us feel like we were about to watch just a fun, action-packed game of Dota 2, but this is so big for these teams.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just the major on the line, it's your chance at getting directly to TI.
Yeah.
Both these teams have a shot if they can just win this game. Otherwise, they've got a month to go home and think about the other teams in their region that they'll now have one shot for one slot.
Yeah, and I know some people are probably looking at this and going, yeah, but these guys, you know, they haven't shown that good. Oh, hold up. Purge off first, dealing with the double damage, collapse. Thanks to the Kraken shell, can slowly make his way back to the rest of the team. Toronto Tokyo, once again, going for Insania. He spotted him. The Daggot's not going to be good enough. Once again, the Glimmer Cape is going to be able to buy Insania some time here. Starts healing himself up, but he knows Toronto Tokyo is going to make another run at that pass.
Yeah, it's just, you can see this awesome game of cat and mouse. I don't think Liquid want to be taking a fight just yet, though. Their Luna has near 6K
He knows Yutaro's here. He sees the multi-shot. He sees him on top of the creep wave. Miposhka is kind of waiting. He's going to intercept the Centaur. Meanwhile, he turns around, gusts up, and kills the Invoker. Now Yutaro's got to get out of here. Toronto Tokyo is going to make sure that the Drow has an opportunity to do so with the coil. They can actually turn things around here. on the high ground. Drow not sure if she wants to be able to stumble into that one. Maposhka playing into this tree line. Meanwhile, the Oracle once again being harried constantly by the Toronto Tokyo. Glimmer caping up. Mickey's on in. Does manage to blow up one, but immediate buyback from Maposhka. Now he's stuck on this high ground with the Rams going in. Yotaro throwing damage from the low ground. It doesn't matter with your elevation. You've got him dead. Toronto Tokyo helps out with a double kill, and they don't have the buyback on Team Liquid. Toronto Tokyo now chasing after Taiga as well. He is relentless. He will not stop. He is not content until he brings down every member of Team Liquid, and he'll manage to get a third kill for them.
Yotaro.
4 in total for Team Spirit.
Still with the mind on the objectives. He was pushing out bot that whole time. They can immediately go for base. And insane, the Satanic came out, an immediate disarm from Collapse from the Tidehunter. Mickey was just trapped. They took that entire fight without Invoker. He had no buyback on Sumail, had just spent gold. And they're going to get at least 1 Rax off this. You could potentially threaten for more. Respawn's upcoming.
They will not have Mickey. This entire lineup is built around this Luna. Looks like they are going to go ahead and back off still. Tier 2s are up on the other side, so they'd have backdoor protection. Roshan is up, though. And early Roshan, this time to the favor of Team Spirit.
And this is a big one, too. The Aghanim Scepter would be enormous for the Puck, for the Drow, really, for the Shadow Demon. I don't even know who you give it to.
Yeah, there's a lot of good options here.
And Butterfly on the Drow. Now, as a Luna, you really don't want to be buying an MKB. Suddenly you are in some serious trouble. You could see there the amount of damage Yotaro was able to do. Killed Sumail in a silence. I don't think he was ready. I think Maposhka also stunned the potential follow-up. Yep. Sumail just died in 4 seconds.
Mira, he's the one to grab the Aghanim Scepter. So they're not going to go for the hypothermia. Drow, not really that necessary. They're going to buff up Mira even more. They've entrusted this young 4 position to take this Aghanim Scepter and continue to shut down Mickey.
That is, I think, probably the right choice, honestly, just for the break as well, right? Like,
yeah.
This makes Mickey kind of useless. And in addition, Drow, with that range advantage, is just going to pummel him with damage. It's a tough game for Liquid. They were 8,000 ahead. Suddenly, Spirit has that entire advantage. All the map control, look at that.
Yeah, and they've got the 1-to-1 carry counter, right? They've got Drow versus Luna. Like, for the rest of this game, Mickey has a hard one ahead of him. They're going to have to, in turn, now be the ones out-executing Team Spirit when this entire time, the shoe's been on the other foot.
Yeah, and really shout out to Toronto Tokyo. This guy has been unbelievable. Just parrying Insania up and down the map, constantly shoving waves. They're going to offensive glyph and go for it. 1 Rax down bottom. Liquid are not quite ready for a response. They've got to be back.
Collapse. Tanking the tornado in style here is Yotaro on the low ground. Poking at this tier 3, they are going to turn around immediately. Nice Hex reaction from Maposhka. And Koifa, he's popped the G's, but it looks like Isha's going to die. Lotus Orb doesn't stop that damage. Meanwhile, the Tidehunter disrupted up. They do have the Cataclysm. Clap's actually blinking into it, but it doesn't matter. He's going to go ahead and heal up. They do have Mickey turn around. Taiga on the front lines here. Now that they've lost their tanky offlaner, they're going to go buy back on him, and he knows it's needed. Mickey is trying in desperation to hit him with these loosened beams, but it's not doing hardly any damage.
They just don't have it, Cap. And the break mechanic, oh my god, it works so well on Enchantress as well.
Yes, it does. Koifa tried to go for a stop of Yotaro. Beautiful man to dodge there. Brings down the ranged barracks. Liquid under so much pressure now. And will they break?
This is tough, Cap. Spirit just have all the answers. They're finding it so much easier to execute cores. Toronto Tokyo, far more effective at finding the backline supports. Meanwhile, it feels like Maposhka is just free casting, as is Mira. They select any target, cast spells, it will die. The massive, the just purges on anybody that he wishes. A great pre-hex from Maposhka. Even fingered himself, didn't matter. Still had the damage to force buybacks. Koifa used his in that fight.
Team Liquid, no doubt that after they lost game 1 against EG, they were feeling the dread beginning to set in, and that dread of elimination from the major, a denial of being able to go to TI through an invite. But then they managed to come back, win that game 2. But now in a best-of-1 against Spirit, they're down 13,000 net worth, and that dread has got to be setting in again.
They will finally have an answer soon to Toronto Tokyo. Etherland's still a problem.
Yeah.
They will have Hex. Sumail, I think, might have to invest in it. Buyback is nice, but it just feels like if you die a couple times on this Team Liquid lineup, you're just going to die again. You need somehow a way to kill the backline, the squishies, because otherwise Collapse, he has a refresher in Shiva's cap. Oh my god, double Ravage.
Yep. It's coming. Liquid, they're going to have to bait something out here. Mickey challenging Yatoro right away as he approaches the high ground, but look at that damage that's being dealt. Somebody's going to get on top of this Drow Ranger. Otherwise, the marksmanship does too much. The Purge, it's going to break him. Taiga's dead. Now goes the Ravage. Mickey's going to be the target. A second Ravage ready to go if necessary. They're immediately going to buy back. Collapse, holding on to this tool to be able to win the game with. Is he going to throw it down yet? Not necessary. They've got the melee barracks.
It's too much damage, Cap. The marksmanship procs, they are just chunking Mickey. They have no, like, well, they have a little bit, but not nearly enough. He's got 33 plus 5 armor. So every single marksmanship, that just ignores the 33. It's like a quarter of his health each time. Collapse, great discipline there. Immediate refresher. Sometimes you see people hold it, never the right choice. He gets the 1 kill, holds it, so now, even after the buybacks, they're still ready to fight. They got 3 for none there. Forced buyback on Mickey. So right now, if you can just get on top of him and ensure the Ravage also clips Insania, Mickey will die in that time. That's the game. That's playoffs.
There's the scythe, Toronto, Tokyo. Ninja gearing over to the side, it breaks. He knows Sumail's somewhere over here. Not going to catch him out in time. Team Spirit up 22,000 net worth. 1 lane of barracks from being able to get megas. This young squad led by 2 veteran players. Maposhka, who really has not had this level of success on the international stage, and Silent, their coach, an old name of Eastern Europe. And these young guns manage to take down Team Liquid. Look at this, Toronto Tokyo, he surprises Liquid. He says, I see you, I know what kind of moves you're gonna make. Koifa somehow managed to hit him with a stop, but the Aeon Disc is gonna be able to protect him. He does still manage to blink away. Gem intact.
100 seconds though. You have a bit of a window now, and there is only the 1 Ravage to contest. Aegis has faded, so suddenly you're on semi-even footing. The net worth, not even close, but theoretically, if you can kill somebody that isn't the Tide, you might be in an all right position. 15 seconds on the refresher, so that window is closing fast. And unfortunately, Liquid, with no buybacks, they are stuck in their base. Team Spirit.
You know, we've gotten a chance to be able to watch Team Spirit as they've made it through from the first to second season. Such an improvement from the first one into the second. I think the one thing we all agreed, potential was the name that we would put on Team Spirit time and time again. They have so much potential. The question was, here at this LAN event on an international stage, would they, due to their lack of experience, choke under the pressure?
Definitely not.
And this is a moment right here, 23,000 net worth. The game is totally in your control. All you have to do is hit the same buttons that got you to the major in the first place.
And they played it so well. Like, this was 1 mistake away from an easy Liquid win. You know, 1 pickoff, 1 feed, and suddenly they're going to lose a Rax. This is the Invoker Luna that's been incredibly successful in these clutch moments already in the tournament. Got Nigma all the way into the playoffs now, because otherwise they might have been looking at an early exit from the wild card. And right now, man, Spirit, the Drow pick, like, you can see its effectiveness. Yeah, behind in terms of the farming speed, but as a carry-to-carry matchup right now, he is just dominant. Level 25 on Collapse, Yatoro, and Toronto Tokyo. What talents they go for? CDR on the Drow, 30%. The Waning Rift AoE in range for the Puck, and 20% cooldown reduction for the Tidehunter.
Well, that's just going to be even more Ravages. Team Spirits, at this point, you could probably just chill out, wait for the next Roshan, just to like kind of ensure your victory as much as possible, move with that Aegis, take that final lane of barracks in mid. And Team Liquid, they're the ones who have to somehow come up with a game plan during this pause. How do they win a team fight, Kyle?
Oof. If I knew that sort of answer, Kep, I probably wouldn't be casting with you.
It starts with being able to catch the backline, right?
Yes.
Mira is way too important to their lineup.
You could see they wanted that.
Wants to catch Toronto Tokyo. He has been a thorn in Sumail's side the entire game, starting from the laning phase. moving constantly around the map, constantly split pushing, denying Team Liquid that opportunity to end the game early.
Yeah, but look at the formation. You can see Puck shading up and forwards, tied down and forwards, keeping the rest alive. Now they're going to smoke forwards. They have so much of a vision advantage. There's zero vision for Liquid outside of their base.
Nikkei is outside of his base.
No.
He's going to be catching the Hex first. They do have the Stampede immediately going out, but the Ravage is going to be able to keep him in place on secondary Ravage just to ensure that he goes down dead for 2 minutes, and without their carry, Team Liquid is lost. Samael and Taiga are gonna back away, but it's too late. Team Spirit in a wave crash into them underneath the tier 4s. It doesn't matter, they've got you. GG is called and Team Spirit are going forward in the major.
Unbelievable. I cannot believe how well they had to play to win this game. Think about the mental fortitude to have just watched Liquid win with this draft, to fall behind, to have all your towers dying. Liquid on the high ground, and yet somehow they win fights. They pick off Insania. They just cut waves until that one critical fight. Well done, and the boys deserve it.
You gotta feel good for them. Look at them; they're so excited. All the youngest players too are the happiest by far. Moposhka a little bit more composed, knowing that there is still a long road ahead for Team Spirit. They have a day off tomorrow. Try and figure things out another day after that to be able to put together a game plan. And that third day, that's when the playoff commences for this team anyway, and they are going to be facing in those best of threes, elimination constantly. Team Liquid, on the other side, did well in the DPC, got themselves second in Europe, but unfortunately, very similar to their predecessors, Alliance, who also took second last time and didn't really fare that well in the group stage either. Seems to be a common thing for Europe. I'm not sure what's going on there.
Me neither, Cap, and ultimately disappointing. They didn't win. They won one game without TA, and it was the one we just saw that actually got them into this tiebreaker. Unfortunately, it felt like their strategies stopped at 2, and they'll have some time, month and a half or so, to go back home and prepare for the reigning TI champions, because they will stand in the way of their shot at TI.
That's right. And meanwhile, on the side of Team Spirit, the young guns of Eastern Europe, the new generation moving forward and showing what they have to be able to take down some of the best on the international stage.